So today we are talking to Mark Bassa from Hokk Finance. We're going to be talking about meme coins, the importance, the future of meme coins, everything meme coins. We're going to talk a little bit about Hokk Finance. First, Mark, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you, man.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.
So tell me, what are meme coins? How did they start and what exactly are they?
So meme coins, meme tokens, but probably the most notable, the most famous is Dogecoin, or as Mark Cuban likes to say, Dogecoin. But I believe the pronunciation is actually Dogecoin. More or less, these are built on a meme, on jokes. They're basically currencies that are intended not really to be real currencies, but to make fun of currencies. Just like memes, these tokens go wild. So they're based on memes, a viral movement, these images that spread like wildfire across the internet. These are predominantly tokens, coins built on blockchain, whether it's on Ethereum or Binance, and more or less, the meme market and the meme tokens themselves, they don't have much of a wider utility. They're pretty much based on hype and speculation. Some do go into things like yielding, farming, staking your meme tokens. But in terms of utility, there isn't too much that's happening in meme tokens right now. But I would say that as a currency itself, you buy these meme tokens to have fun, to support projects, and they give a greater adoption, I think, to crypto and blockchain in general, because people can actually, I believe retail investors can relate to meme tokens more than they can to, say, Ethereum at first. And then the meme token brings that adoption into crypto and wider.
So you mentioned Dogecoin. That was actually the first meme token, if I'm not mistaken, built on the Bitcoin blockchain. And basically that was made to make fun of cryptocurrencies, right? It was actually made for, even the founder said this is to make fun of cryptocurrencies, but the success rate was enormous. It's just everyone went nuts on it.
It's completely wild. It's one of those stories that you really, when you look at it, it's, you know, Dogecoin, what it's done for crypto and blockchain in general is remarkable, because, you know, it really didn't move that much over the years. And then Elon Musk supports it. And using his fame and his influence, he really showed people that what this could actually be. And that's what he actually stated, the irony in Dogecoin becoming something. So I think it's a fantastic move by Elon. Like I bought into Doge early. I bought in Dogecoin early. I bought into Shiba Inu quite early as well. And I invested, and my portfolio was looking fantastic. And that's one of the reasons why I joined Hokk Finance, to bring something a little more to the meme market and to meme utility, basically to bring utility to meme tokens where you can send and spend and invest them the way you want to, versus perhaps a token that's purely built on hype, which is, you know, it can't last that long, really.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a second, but why are meme tokens important for you? Why do you think meme coins are so important to the cryptocurrency industry? I know you touched on this earlier on, but let's talk a little bit more about that.
I think they're important. Like I said, with retail investors and people understanding what Bitcoin is, what Ethereum is. I mean, if you go into the technicals, many people that I've met think Bitcoin is a scam, okay? They don't understand how these networks work. They don't understand blockchain. So it's too complicated for them. So I think the value behind these tokens is, and why they're so important, is greater adoption. So if I'm on, you know, I get a lot of my information on cryptocurrency from places like Reddit. I read the forums. I'm on the, you know, the Ethereum forum, and there are a lot of, you know, brilliant people talking about wider adoption to Ethereum. Brands is going to be a big part of that, but a brand is not going to jump on and research what ETH is or BSC or anything. They're going to look at who's using it, who's adopting it, what can we do with these things, what can we build on. But then they hear about things like Dogecoin and Elon Musk, right, richest man in the world, adopting a meme coin as a way of you know, utilizing a product or service. Then they're, you know, they start ticking. So meme tokens are important for the greater consumers, retail investors. It's a good place for them to start and learn about blockchain and cryptocurrency before they get into the serious stuff, downloading a MetaMask, you know, trading on what's a decentralized exchange versus centralized exchange, those sorts of things.
I just a huge situation with MetaMask this morning, actually. Oh yeah, it was insane, but I managed to get everything done. So are meme tokens scams?
Look, there are definitely meme tokens that are scams. You would have read about them. It's one of those industries where anybody can create a meme token. I've just read, just as I said online, how this guy created a meme token as a joke just to test out and fun and play, and people started buying it on Uniswap. They started putting money into it, and it went up, and volume came, and then it gained traction. And he's like, "Fuck, this is a joke." So what you should be careful about with meme tokens is, who's behind it? Now, things like CertiK audits, are very important if you're going to be buying meme tokens. You should be aware and just look at, is this another pump and dump? How do you know these things? You really don't know. Some people throw their life savings at these things, and that's not what you should be doing. You should be looking and doing your own research. If there's audits, if there's a team that's doxed, these are good starts. Otherwise, you're really just, you're betting on a horse. It's very risky. So I hope that with Elon Musk endorsing Dogecoin and getting behind it, and Vitalik, of course, that these things become more legitimate.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, now, do you think meme coins are a fad? Are they here to stay, or will some stay, some go? Or do you think it's a trend? What do you think is going on with this?
I think the strongest and the fittest will survive. I think just like NFTs, if you look at even the top 100 tokens from 5 years ago to today, there aren't many that are still here. I think that what we're going to see is we're going to see a demand for meme utility. Are these tokens pumps and dumps? Can I only use them for staking, farming, yield, all this other stuff that most of them do? Or is there going to be a greater adoption? Like, am I actually going to be able to use my tokens to buy a pizza or a coffee or send money through remittance? Am I going to be able to use it in ways in which I use legacy finance today? That's where the big bridge is going to be.
Okay, so do you think that? So what do you think is the future of meme tokens? Where do you think they're going to head? Like, is it going to be a Doge 2.0? Somebody could just take that name, by the way. But do you think it's going to be a Doge 2.0 or a meme 2.0? What do you think is going to happen?
I think there's a baby Doge already, and that's gone up. But more or less, I think that I don't think these are ever going to stop. I think people are going to keep building them. People are going to keep experimenting with them. Someone's going to crack new codes and build new features, and that token will take off. I think that more or less, it's really going to be the meme tokens with the most. Either, again, it depends on who's endorsing it. If you have a celebrity endorsement, these tokens can go forever. And then the meme token becomes like an NFT with utility. If I was to buy an NFT, I bought 8 Yacht Club, and then I can enter this nightclub, for example. Anyone who has that NFT, that's maybe where they'll head in terms of utility. I can't say, I can't predict the future, but I think that more are going to come. Many are going to flop and die. But it depends on what they're really going to be doing. Are they going to be actually trying to challenge legacy banking? Are they going to be, what is their brand? What is their brand equity actually doing? That's a very crucial factor to how these tokens will thrive and survive in the future.
Do you think NFTs are going to make their version of the meme token so that people that didn't get in early can get in and have that connection, that bridge? What do you think? That's what I would do.
Yeah, well, look, we're currently working on an NFT collection right now.
Okay.
It's more based around utility with. I won't give too much away, but it's not your general NFT with a cute cartoon. There's going to be something that you can do with this NFT like you could if you use a traditional financial product. There's more to it. Then, of course, it's really hard to say. This market moves so quickly. So when you're talking about the future of these things in your previous question, it's a little bit like how fast can banks actually adopt this in order to survive? Well, probably not that fast. They're very they're huge, humongous organizations. With the NFTs, I mean, you're talking about small teams, great developers, cute, catchy little Inu faces, whatever, and a speed of growth. They're agile. They can build faster than these enormous behemoth legacy businesses. So what's going to happen is anyone's guess. Yeah.
So there's a lot of money to be made with meme tokens.
I think so. And there's a lot of money to be lost in meme tokens too. Don't get me
wrong.
Very
good point. Excellent point.
It's one of those things like, for example, I invested in meme season, and, some of my tokens did it 50 times. Like, it was fantastic. But like many tokens, the ones that I didn't cash out on, the Bitcoin correction came, or, China bans Bitcoin for the 14th time, and these meme tokens completely crash. So it's like, you've got to be careful. How long do you want to ride this wave for? So if the token is purely based on speculation and people are taking their profits from Bitcoin, from ETH, putting it into altcoins, then going into meme coins, meme season is also fractional. It doesn't last that long as well. People need to understand this is not like Bitcoin's long-term growth to $1 million a Bitcoin. These tokens have some time to them, but are they going to be around forever? Again, as I said, utility, branding. This is very, very important. Can you make a Hello Kitty meme token? Well, you probably could, and only accept it at Hello Kitty. That's an established brand. For newcomers, I don't know.
Okay, so before I get into Hokk Finance, let's get a little Nostradamus streak going here. Biggest meme coin that will make it, in your opinion? Biggest scam meme coin that will go to zero, in your opinion?
Okay, I would like to say that Hokk Finance, I know we haven't introduced it yet, will be the #1 in our field with our utility. I think what we're doing, and which we'll talk about soon, I think we're going to win this race. In terms of branding and winning the race, I think we're going to be competing ambitiously against Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. I think because, well, you shouldn't, I've heard you shouldn't really challenge Elon Musk on anything, but we're all ambitious and we're only going to live once. I think, well, maybe we come back reincarnated as meme tokens. Who knows? I think really the biggest scam. It's hard to say who's up there and what's going to do. There may be tokens right now with enormous market caps with some very disingenuous players. When you're in this industry, you're privileged to certain information and you hear certain things that you're not quite sure about. A lot of FUD spreads, but then things do stick, right? So you hear things about maybe certain projects and maybe there's some shifty things going on. I mean, for one, when they don't dox themselves, I understand why. There's a lot of money involved. And unfortunately with meme tokens, there's a level of investors that maybe don't understand how long things take to get built, and FUD can spread and people don't want to be contacted on LinkedIn. I'm contacted on LinkedIn all the time about questions that I've got no control over. So I think that the ones that are going to die in the end are probably the ones that will lack in transparency, lack in utility, brand equity. When is the hype going to end? Gary Vee famously says about NFTs that it's going to change. A lot of really good companies are going to be built right now. Yeah. The Amazon of NFTs, the Google of blockchain, whatever's going to be there. This is what this sort of does. It creates a lot of innovation. But with innovation, top 2, 3 survive and the rest kind of fizzle out.
Exactly. I don't have a problem with meme coins. Personally, I have problems with meme coins that are trying to disguise themselves as something else. Yeah. Or the shilling coins, where all they do is just pump the token and just talk. I just hate that. So so here, let's talk a little bit about Hokk Capital and what you guys are doing. And my question is this: what is Hokk Finance? Why should people care?
Okay, what is Hokk Finance and why should people care? The best way to describe it is like this. You look at meme tokens broadly. What can you do with them? You can't do much, but they're very popular. And one of the brilliant things about meme tokens is they resonate with young people that are fed up with the Federal Reserve or the US dollar or legacy finance. So what we're doing at Hokk Finance is we're basically we're transforming from a meme token into DeFi 2.0 by building all the products that you would use in your everyday life. So let's say your online investment or commerce experience. You have a pension. You take out loans. You invest in a greater portfolio to expand and to grow your wealth over the next few generations, right? We're trying to replicate that, but use a meme brand. So what we discovered is, and this is what I actually pitched the team. It's a funny story. I wrote to them and I think 2 others, and I said, listen, my portfolio's up, but every time Bitcoin has a correction, everyone dumps this coin. It's pumped and dumped. The reason it's happening is because, well, you don't have any utility. No one can really use you beyond, like you said, all the shilling stuff that goes on. I said, build a portal, a financial ecosystem where young people can basically have their everyday commerce, everyday experience that they would normally use with their bank or their banking apps. Build it around Hokk, build it around your actual token. So if I want to send money or buy a pizza, invest in a DeFi project, maybe on-chain loans, on-chain pensions. That's a multi-trillion-dollar industry, the pension industry, right? It's a dinosaur industry. It's lacking in innovation. What's going to happen to young people in 10 years who are all getting paid in ETH? They need somewhere to grow that pension. So we want to build these products. So if you look at us from a standpoint and you compare us, you would say, meme token, great, check. Cool brand, check. Utility. Can I actually use this in my everyday life? Is it going to grow my personal wealth? This is what we're doing at Hokk Finance. It's a complete transformation. So we haven't forgot about the fun stuff that we are. We're still fun, but it's just moving into a more of from a project to a company format.
Got you. How long does Hokk Finance exist as a company?
Yeah, so Hokk started in May of this year, actually.
Okay.
In May, it exploded to about 830 million in market cap. It took
What
off.
was Hokk before it became what it is now? Because I saw the website. You guys are working on some crazy things. So what was it in May, and what is it now? And
Sure. So in May, when I wasn't working there, I'd bought the token and I did very well across all the meme tokens. More or less, it was a similar project that cute brand, staking, farming, that sort of thing, similar to all the other Inus. I think Hokk was like number 3 or 4 that came out. So it's one of the OGs. It's one of the original meme token. They wanted to do remittance in Africa to solve the big challenges there that, with Western Union and Asia, to make it more affordable. So that's what it was then. Now, multi-chain bridged across ETH, BSC, and Hekko.
Which is your token.
All the other stuff, correct. Yeah, all with the Hokk token. So there was actually a relaunch. The old contract was renounced. New contract came into play. And now with that new contract is basically bridged with 2 other chains. And you can use our bridge at Hokk.finance.
Nice. Okay, so what made you buy it, by the way? What made you buy Hokk?
It's funny. It's like my personal investment experience is kind of like why I joined. There was hype around this. Elon had recently pumped Dogecoin. It was everywhere. Every social media app I was on. And I was like, wow, he's really pumped it. And I got in a little bit earlier than that, and then I bought some after as well. But basically, I saw this and I was like, why is one of the smartest men around who's trying to send rockets, to the moon, who's going to live on Mars one day? Why is he involved in this? What is it? Has he reached peak capitalism where he's got so much money and so much power? And he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna endorse a meme token. And I didn't understand.
Very, very possible.
Very possible, right? So my whole thing behind it was kind of like, okay, he's onto something. I trust and believe in what he's doing. And then I got more involved in the community and saw it. And then I was like, okay, I see what's happening with these tokens. There's a lot of hype around them. There's a lot of innovation. They exploded. And I was like, okay, I've got to be involved. I want to be one of the first ones. So then I heard about these ones earlier, and then I had bought some, and then I bought some more as they kind of, generated more hype, you could say, because they exploded. It was just everywhere.
Do you think it's going to happen again, the explosion?
Yeah, I think meme season's on its way. I think what happens is as I mentioned a bit earlier, people take their profits from Bitcoin, they put it in ETH. ETH maybe goes between 10 grand and 40 grand, as some of the bigger financial firms predict. Then it goes into the altcoins, and they shoot up, and then it goes into meme season, and then we see what happens after that. Maybe there's a couple of years downturn. Meme season, we can call it.
I'm writing that down. I like that. Okay. So I saw on your website that Hokk Finance lets you get into other meme coins early, or being able to invest in meme coins earlier before they get released. Is that right? Why not use CDFI or Uniswap or other DEXs? Why would they come to Hokk Finance to do that? What's the difference?
So we're looking at something called Hokk Capital. And that's basically, it's going to be a launch pad for DeFi projects that we believe in, that are going to change the world in different ways. So
Okay.
what we're trying to do, obviously on Uniswap and on PancakeSwap, as you mentioned before, you can get scammed by some of these tokens. You should do your own research, but it happens. You can get listed. It's it's decentralized. We're trying to change that by putting in certain methods whereby the tokens that we want to back and the companies we want to back, they've got audits behind them. They've got legitimate teams. We want to do a little bit better than what's currently available. So things that you would find on a normal launch pad, like that you could ape into at any time, but lower that sense of risk, but actually give the community that we have an opportunity to get into these things. Like, I mean, when friends and family hear about some of the things that I've been, what I've invested in early, they're just like, wow, how did you hear about them? And it gets me thinking like, well, if we have this enormous community, I think we've got 30,000 plus on Telegram, wouldn't they want to hear about these things? Most people today say, did you get into Shiba Inu? When did you get in? And the people who are really getting in very early obviously do the best. But what if you could have a launch pad for that? So that's our idea behind Hokk Capital.
Got you. Now, if you're on the Telegram watching this, if you're in the Hokk Finance community, subscribe down below and hit the bell notification button. We come out with great videos. Hit that like button. Support Hokk, me. Support, because you have to. No, I'm just kidding, man. But yeah, it would really pretty cool if you do that. We'll check out some videos first and see if you want to follow along. But yeah, I got your website up here, and I just want to go through some of your products with you here. The first one I see is HokkFi, which is our very own multi-chain exchange on Ethereum, BSC, and Hekko. I think we talked about this before. Hekko is your own blockchain. Is it?
Hekko's from China. Hekko's a Chinese company.
Okay.
It's very new. We're in dialogue with them. We're the only, I believe, we're the only meme token that's on Hekko right now, which is pretty exciting.
Okay.
Some analysts think Hekko could explode and be the next Binance. We'll see. They have their own chain as well, their own exchange, the Hubi or Hubo, Hubi chain. You could pronounce it as.
Got you. So HokkFi is basically an exchange like Uniswap, or is it an aggregator like 1inch? Or
so right now, HokkFi, so HokkFi is a swap, but it's also a bridge. So you can actually bridge your ETH, $1 million, over to Binance if you wanted to. It's the bridge between 3 chains. What HokkFi is going to be is the remainder of the products. So HokkFi will be the portal. So just imagine your banking application, and all the features will be inside HokkFi.
Got you. And this is decentralized?
This is decentralized.
DEX, okay.
We're audited as well. You can actually check out the old audit from CertiK. You can check out the new audit from Ether Authority. And then we're currently doing another CertiK audit right now.
Okay. So, because I was looking at your roadmap earlier on, and I thought the audits haven't happened yet. It said they're coming. Is that like?
So the audits for the new contracts are happening right now with CertiK, although they've been done by Ether Authority. So if you look at, there's a little link there with the full documentation. That's actually
right.
If you look under the big, under HokkFi, you can see there on the investors page.
Okay. So let's move down. And you also have a Hokk Wallet. Now, this is exciting. So tell us a little bit about the Hokk Wallet here, because I've got a couple of questions for that.
Sure. So just as basically, these products are in development right now, but Hokk Wallet itself, what we're trying to do is replicate what MetaMask and Trust Wallet and others have done. But again, Hokk Wallet is going to be your way to send and swap and receive, just like you do through your MetaMask extension, through HokkFi, your browser extension, or through, for example, your mobile application. But Hokk Wallet's basically where you're going to have your currency, your crypto in the future.
And to get this part is not decentralized. This is actually a centralized wallet, correct? Or is it decentralized as well?
The whole principle, so the whole principle behind what we're doing, we're trying to go completely decentralized. The only thing that we foresee in the future, in terms of centralization, will more or less be, for example, KYC, doing your KYC locally. We're trying to create head offices and apply for new licenses and things like that. They require certain levels of centralization. So in Dubai, very few licenses have been issued. In Singapore, it's a little bit different. But to abide with the government and actually be a part and be regulated and pay tax, there is some level. So the wallet itself can be decentralized. You can have your contracts, you can have everything else basically run as a DAO by the community, but there may be some elements which you can't bypass unless you want to go to jail. So we want to make sure that we are within the law, we have the right licenses, and that's what we're doing right now.
Is it fair to say that the more decentralized you are, the more riskier it is because you can't control, you can't help people and so on, or?
It's kind of like this, the more decentralized you are, maybe a bigger target you are to authorities. So the fundamental thing is that, as I mentioned, blockchain moves so quickly. You have brilliant developers sitting behind a computer in grandma's basement, building, next gen stuff. And the government and other bodies, they don't like that sort of stuff. They don't, banks, typically legacy banks, traditional banks don't like that, because it means that every dollar taken from USD, from wherever, Bank of America, and put into the blockchain is one less dollar that they have. So
Gotcha.
Fundamentally, the scary thing is that more decentralized you are, they still want to hold people accountable. This is not about, when you hear them talking about it being scams or not being real currency, this is about control. Mm-hmm. So when we want to give control back to people, we also need to say, hey, if we want to give you this control, you still need to abide by your local laws, because you can get in trouble or we can get in trouble. So there's a really hard balance right now. This is a very gray area in a very fast moving industry.
Okay. Now, I'm not sure if this is an Easter egg. I'm not sure if this is just random, but I see something like a debit card or credit card next to the Hokk wallet. Is this something you guys are coming out with?
What we're trying to do is similar to what you can do with MetaMask, by taking your debit card, credit card, and buying fiat and adding it there. These are all in stages. So the first stage we're trying to do is build out what the core functions are. Can you send crypto to it? Can I send crypto out of it? That sort of thing.
Right. Okay, let's talk about Hokk Capital right now. Hokk Capital is a community-driven launchpad. We already talked about that earlier on. That's the launchpad part of it. So what kind of projects would be listed on that launchpad? Do you find them? Do they find you? Is there a marketing play with that? What's going on with that?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to invest heavily into marketing. What we're trying to offer is something better than many crypto firms out there. There are a lot of crypto firms out there, which I think that they're doing a great job in terms of doing less on the, if you've ever invested in a company for equity, A class, B class shares, there's a lot of bullshit you have to go through. And crypto VCs basically, they solve all those problems that you have to go for by being more transparent and more direct. What's your USDC address? Boom, it's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for us is that we're looking at what they're doing and the ones that aren't doing a really good job, and seeing how we can basically become that VC firm with the great brand. But it's an attractive method. If you imagine that you're a DeFi project and you want funding, well, what if you have access to a community of tens of thousands of people plus Hokk, right? So then all of a sudden you're now getting, if Hokk wants to back these projects, then the community backs it, you get money quicker, you get more of it, but you also get a lot more adoption. So your products, your tokens or whatever you're building are instantly, reaching tens of thousands of people, versus if you're one VC or 10 VC firms backing one thing. The only thing that we don't have behind us, of course, is the track record of brand equity of investing in these things. While some of the people behind the project are, successful in their own ways in investment banking and those sorts of things, the brand itself, Hokk, is not known as a launchpad. So that's a marketing challenge that we'll have to work on.
Got you. Okay. And then you have Hokk Green.
Hokk Green. So yes. The idea behind this is basically, it's a big trend around the world, going green, all those sorts of things, whether it's energy projects or, cleaning up plastic, whatever it is. What we're trying to do is replicate the launchpad for Hokk Capital, but on a green focus. And one of the reasons is, for example, in the growing economies in the world, if you take somewhere like a continent like Africa, or maybe somewhere like India, you've got brilliant PhDs that know blockchain, that are building, energy solutions for the future. And it's really hard for them to get grants at their universities. And there isn't too much money in this. These are very highly, they're so risky to invest in, but the outcome can be huge. What we're trying to do for those people is that we know that maybe $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 is a lot of money to raise for your project. well, try to come to our community and let's see if we can raise it for you. Let's get you the exposure that you need and the funding you need and the marketing you need to actually get out there. So that's the core focus of Hokk Green.
Got you. And then you have, and these are all products that are coming out, that are going to come out, yes?
They're all going to come out, yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second. We have Hokk NFT next. You guys are doing your own NFT play?
Well, our own NFT play, like I said, it's not just JPEGs on the blockchain. It's going to be a little different. It's going to have a lot more utility. It's really, really cool. We're exploring ways on how, more or less, how NFTs can almost, without giving too much away, how do I say this? How NFTs...
Give a lot away. Give some things away.
Okay.
Some people give things away here.
Sure. You've totally convinced me.
We're known for outside information on this channel.
Disclaimer on the bottom. Look, the way that you would buy A-class or B-class shares in a corporation, it works various, but you have certain voting rights. You have certain power with certain classes of shares and how much you own. Your governance, for example. We're trying to do that and replicate that, but also if you're buying A-class shares as an NFT and you're staking it, and those A-class shares are worth a lot more money and you stake it, then there's certain yield that you can earn. Or maybe that can be almost bought and sold like stock. So it's moving much quicker, trading 24 hours a day rather than what your typical stock would have to do. The process it has to go through in being sold. So we're exploring these areas now. We've got a brilliant development team that we're working with, plus another leading blockchain agency in the US that's going to help with these things.
Awesome. Nice. And then you have your Hokk School and University. This is... So tell us about that.
Yeah, okay. Hokk University. So I speak about this on other interviews, and basically it's like this. My son, he's 1 year and 7 months old. When he's at the age to open a bank, central banking may not exist in the same way it does today. He'll probably have a wallet, a crypto wallet, then he has a bank. So what we're trying to do here is more or less facilitate education into crypto for, you can imagine younger people, sort of like 12, 13, 14 years old that are getting into meme coins, for example, or minting their own NFTs. There was a young gentleman, I think from London, that made a fortune from his whale NFTs. I forget what his name was. But more or less educating the next generation of crypto youth and even their parents as well. It's more a play for parents to educate their kids, but in some way I can see children educating mum and dad and being like, hey, this is what an NFT is. This is what a Hokk token can do for you.
Got you.
So that's a way of interacting with people so they can learn about these things and then make better investment decisions.
Okay. And this is also something that's going to come.
Correct. Yeah. The actual coursework is being developed now.
All right. Oh, it is. Okay. And then you have Hokk Loans.
Hokk Loans, on-chain loans. You've seen a lot of these DeFi platforms. You can stake your ETH, you can earn USDC. The loan approval time is, pretty much, 30 minutes. I read one post from a DeFi investor that said he borrowed like $1 billion and it took him like 30 minutes. Crazy stuff like that. I'm not sure what the technicals were, but more or less it's like decentralized loans when you need them. If you're a college student and you need money for, a new car, to deliver pizza, whatever you need to do, if you've got a small business, whatever comes up in your life that you need a loan and you've got crypto, you've bought ETH early and you think, wow, if I stake this, I get a way better return on investment than any bank would ever give me, for example. So that's what we're trying to position that product.
And then finally, you have Hokk Pensions.
Yeah, so this is the thing, Hokk Pensions. It may not be called Hokk Pensions in the end because of the legalities around it, and we know that.
Because I was looking at that, and it kind of like put me off just now because I'm like, pensions. Why?
No, we're looking at basically how do we replicate what a pension means to somebody. More or less, it's a long-term savings account that today you have no access to. You get a shitty return. You've got to retire and you can only get your money at 75. If you're injured, you have to go to court sometimes and actually prove how injured that you've been at your workplace to get that pension, to get your insurance. So it's kind of like, it's so controlled. There's so much bureaucracy involved. Yet this pension industry is a dinosaur and it's worth trillions and trillions of dollars. And what we're trying to do and what we're looking at, of course, legal wise, is how do we replicate that, put it on chain, but make it very simple? How do we give a product to somebody who owns 1 ETH and can stake it across 10 different DeFi platforms and earn yield from each one? How do we do it so simplistically that they can sit back and know their money is going to actually grow, but there's none of these corporate fees or overheads? Like when I see these companies, these pensions, they have the biggest office in the city. They're all driving very nice cars, and that's where your fees go to. We don't want any of that. Okay.
Now, there's a saying that says you can't build a reputation on what you are going to do. So out of all of these that we've talked about, what's currently working? What's currently now in Hokk Finance?
So Hokk Finance, you have the multi-chain bridge across 3 chains. What's being built at this very stage?
Exists? What's working right now?
Yeah, sure. So the bridge exists. What's being built right now is pensions, loans, NFTs, Hokk School, Hokk University coursework. But that's not very technical. That's more that. But in terms of what we're actually building, the other things that we're looking at building, we're exploring something to do with Bitcoin as well, Bitcoin yield with our token, a DEX, but that's all in process now. So we have our team, plus we're in discovery stage with a US blockchain company.
With the pensions, for lack of better terms, or what you're going to change it to, would that be denominated in Hokk coins or Bitcoin coins or USDT or?
It's one of those things where the simplest way to do it right now is basically enable people that own, say, ETH. Mm-hmm. If you own ETH, then you could actually use it across, you could stake it across multiple DeFi platforms and earn that yield. That could actually be stored through your Hokk wallet. So it's connecting all these things and putting them together.
Got you. Now, the actual Hokk token, what's the ticker? Remind me. Is it HOKK?
Yeah, HOKK.
Okay, so it's the same ticker as the name. Okay, I was just making sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So you've been listed on multiple exchanges, and I saw that part of the roadmap was closed, that you were listed, but they were all small exchanges. Are you having plans, or do you have any development towards getting on some main exchanges that are a little bit more known, if you will, more reputable?
Yeah, for sure. There's about 3 in the works right now, and we're setting that up. Yeah, it could happen in the next over the next quarter.
Got you.
Yeah, so that needs to align with our product roadmap as well. Listing on an exchange will always help if people understand that we've launched a product, because then it actually brings, okay, I bought it from an exchange and now I can actually use this token somewhere rather than just own it on an exchange.
Awesome. And now I'm looking at the team here. I see global management. I see advisors. I see a lot of people here, but I see no faces. Everything is to be announced. The only person I see is Mark Boss. A great picture, by the way. You look really good. But I don't see anybody else. And who is behind Hokk Finance? Who is like, who runs this project? What is this project? Who's behind it?
So it's really interesting. So as I got to know the team, the people behind it were actually investors, and they took over the project from another developer that started it and the one that launched it and blew it up. It's 830 million market cap. But these were investors that more or less came in. They bought Hokk, they brought more people in, and they wanted to run this project and build it to basically the ultimate meme token with this remittance to help people in Africa and the developing world. They have a really interesting background. One's in investment banking, another one's in banking as well in Europe. One of them is just an exceptional trader, got in Bitcoin and Dogecoin when it was worth nothing. The other one's in mathematics. So they're all very diverse, but financially, you could say focused and crypto focused individuals, done well at investing, but they work day or night on this project as well. Mm-hmm. I'm the only front-facing person because right now what I said was, if we're going to move to a meme project, to a company, you need somebody. So I'm taking the risk right now, putting my face out there. And what I'm trying to do is build a group of high-level advisors from both traditional and crypto finance to come on board and establish that level of panache that we need to be taken seriously. So if we want to partner with banks or pensions, we want to partner with big companies, we need a level of expertise that only comes with after working 50, 60, or in your 50s or 60s, people that have made it are now looking to work on the next big thing. So that's TBA, but those people are coming over this year and early January as well. But in the next few days, you should see some of the advisors pop up, and you can read about who they are as well.
Awesome. What about the actual team, the actual core team?
Yeah, so the core team of those guys, the investors that run the project, they're made up of, so you've got about 6 key individuals, then you've got a team of, say, 5 developers. You have a lot of volunteers. You have a lot of wonderful volunteers who are moderators. They are award-winning graphic designers. They are programmers. One's a CTO in a health tech company. There's just all these incredible people who don't get paid a salary. They just love this project. And that to me really said a lot when I was doing my due diligence on working for this company, working for this project. So it's made up of a really fascinating group of people who are incredibly energetic and I would say so loyal to the project.
Will there be anybody else showing their face from the core team or not?
In the next quarter, you might see 1 or 2 from the core team. You may. You're definitely going to see new hires who are not a part of the core team, but will be placed strategically. So myself, Global Brand Business Manager, you may see a marketing manager, a CTO, and other people that we're actually bringing in who will be also the face of the company in their own departments too.
Which makes sense. A lot of companies, that's the way they run. It's not always the people behind the company showing themselves.
Correct.
It makes sense. So how does one invest in Hokk? Let's say somebody watching this wants to buy Hokk right now. They want to, okay, let me get in before the team starts, showing faces. It's when the price is probably going to go up. I like what I hear. How can I invest in it right now when it's cheaper? Maybe I haven't looked at the price rather than later and take the risk, because there is risk involved with this. Of course, everyone should do their own research.
Of course, it shouldn't be used as an investment vehicle. But basically, if you want to buy Hokk, you should look at buying Hokk from hokk.finance. There's a big button there. It'll take you direct to HokkFi. And as we talked about before, HokkFi is where you can exchange or swap your ETH or Binance, whatever, for our native token.
I'll have it linked up here somewhere as well.
Fantastic. Good to know. Of course, it's available on Uniswap and PancakeSwap, and then we have other exchanges as well, centralized exchanges.
Great. So a couple of questions about you. All right. Because you're the only team member. So let's talk about you right now, because we want to get to know you a little bit. I want to know you before you got into Bitcoin. Let's do this. If I met you in high school, we're sitting in the cafeteria, there's a couple of girls over there, we're looking at them, we're having our coffee, lunch, whatever we're having in the cafeteria, depending which country you're in, we're talking. What would I think about you? What would I think about Mark Bassa?
Probably someone with big, crazy ideas, dreams. I'm a total risk taker. The riskier it is, the more I want to get in, because I believe in high risk, high reward. I'm always doing something. I'm getting my hands into something. I like to focus on one thing and then dabble in certain hobby projects as well. So I'd say that's the person that you would know back then. I've predominantly been involved in, you could say, business entrepreneurship from very young. I always loved to build things with my hands, create things and sell things to my mum when I was a kid, or sell things at the local markets as a 12-year-old or something like that. I always loved to build stuff. I was really interested in mechanics and things like that. I don't know what year it was specifically, but I would say around 9, 10, 11 years ago was my first sort of introduction with Bitcoin. And I was like, whoa, what is this thing? And I looked at it and I saw it and I thought, okay, people are really going to want this, because decentralization wasn't a big topic. And I also liked the fact that Bitcoin was shunned upon by so many banks. And I was like, well, if the banks hate it, like, this is definitely something that's going to be around in the future. So some buddies and I got together and we built an MVP for a Bitcoin, fiat, and loyalty point reward system or payment system. So an omni-currency payment system where you could go into the supermarket and you could use your Bitcoin, your fiat, and your loyalty points. The crazy thing about that is that got picked up, and we ended up working with Microsoft through their incubator program and the Australian government, where I'm from. I'm from Australia originally. And that was really cool. And I knew we were onto something then, because the investors that we got put in front of, I was sitting in a room once and I'm like 22, 23 years old. And there's like a net worth of billions of dollars of investors sitting in front of me. And they had questions like, can I hack Bitcoin from your mobile? Can I do this? Can I do? And they really had no clue. And these were guys at the top of their league in finance. And so that was when I really started getting into crypto and loving it more and more and more. And I started trading 2016, 2017, which is when I really, really got into it. So that's me, who I was, and who I am today. I hope that answers your question.
I answered multiple questions. Are you a fundamental guy or a TA guy when you trade, or both? What do you lean more against?
I'm kind of like I'm big on brands and community and the social aspect. So there have been some tokens I invested in, which are technologically brilliant, but they have the worst social media and community I've ever seen. And I always think to myself, if they just invested in a team of marketing people, this thing would explode and you would triple, quadruple the amount of holders and backers and everybody. Don't get me wrong, it's a big token the way it is. But I wrote to them on Facebook and Reddit, and I wrote to them everywhere, and they never got back to me. And I thought, but you're going to be one of the leading companies in the world in telecom blockchain, and I can't get in touch with you.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
I go into branding. I'm purely on the branding play of how good did they actually market and sell what they're proposing to do, then I'll buy.
Nice. So that's a good one. So 3 pieces for advice for people getting into cryptocurrency, not meme coins, cryptocurrency in general right now. What's the 3 top pieces of advice? Because this is a cryptopreneurship channel, a lot of investors, a lot of aspiring cryptopreneurs. What's your 3 pieces of advice for them?
You want to get into crypto, have an exit strategy before you even make your first investment.
Nice.
Am I happy with 10 times? A lot of people sold SHIB pretty early, and they're the ones who are like, damn, I could have been a trillionaire by now. So just think about, am I happy with 10 times? And then I can use that for something else. Go in and think, what am I putting in? What can I afford to lose, first of all? And what am I happy with? If my money does 10 times, I'm out, good. Then look at, I would say that right now we have started in the biggest transfer of wealth in history. I mentioned just briefly before, but my kind of, call it a theory or whatever you want to call it, every dollar taken from centralized banking and put into the blockchain is $1 less in centralized banking. Now, at some point, what's going to happen? Are the banks going to foreclose? Is the World Bank going to say, sorry, we have no more money when it hits 15, 20, 30%? What's that number that's going to tip and make an enormous global crash? Look at technology that is going to be safe in that period over the next 10 years. When is this going to happen? Let's say 5, 10 years, maybe 20. I don't know. It's accelerating. Look at technology that won't crash. Look at something that is fundamental. Is it around something cyclical? Is it something that people need every day? Look into something like that. So I would say that's the other thing. The other thing is look at a lot of brands fail because they have shitty customer service. And if you're trying to engage with a currency, it's got a rotten community, a lot of tribalism, destroying other brand names. Do you really want to be involved in that community? Do you want to put your money there? Is that what's being endorsed? What are people doing to settle the FUD? Look at how the brand is perceived. Does it have equity? And if they have a roadmap, do they have the right team and the right, you could say, strategy in place to actually do those things? So we've got a great team, and the advisors that we're bringing on, as I said, super high level people from both traditional and crypto finance. They're the kinds of people that can do the partnerships. The young guns in crypto, the tech nerds and things, not many of them can do it. So look at that element as well. How well is that brand sold and consolidated to you as an investor?
And here's an important question. The three most important things one should look at when getting into meme tokens. What's the 3 key pieces of advice for meme tokens?
Okay. Are you in this token for a pump and dump? And be honest about it, and don't think that holding on to a meme token for 5 meme seasons may work. It may not. I would say that look at, again, the roadmap and what they're doing. Not just cool features. This is the thing about meme tokens that also gives me the shits. And I wish that they understood this, because a lot of brilliant people building these things, a lot of brilliant blockchain developers that are sitting behind their computer day and night. Don't build cool, nerdy features for people that don't understand what you're doing. If you build stuff for the wider market, think about the retail investor and the consumer. Build things that are simple for them. So look at that when you're in a meme token. Do they want to build something that's for Mars? When Mars is colonized in 25 years, where I can mint a token on Mars, you have to wait a long time to get your ROI. So look at stuff that can solve simple problems right now. The third thing is look at the audits. Just go ahead and see their CertiK audit or ETH Authority or whoever it is. Just go in and do a dive. Some of these documents, I think ours is like 30, 40, 50 pages long on one of our audits. Go in and read some of the stuff. Maybe something will come up and you'll think, okay, that doesn't make sense, or wow, they really did a good job. Do your own research. Just check it out and just see that it's legitimate. Yeah, that's all I can really say.
One more question there, just to expand on that. How does one do their own research on a meme token?
Okay, I always start with social media, and you can almost always tell. Typically on Reddit, it's more obvious, but on Reddit, you can see a lot of these, hey, I just filled my bags. Why don't you fill your bags? The next gem that's going to do 1,000, right? Now, yes, there are YouTubers that do it, and there's some really great YouTubers that believe in it and do it, but there's also the paid crypto marketing agencies that will take your money and copy and paste. And almost everyone's been susceptible to that kind of crap. So just look at the community. So what are they posting? How are they posting it? What is the admin doing? Look at the history of the profiles being created. So doing your own research starts in the community. Go to the Telegram, Reddit, Facebook, Google, and even things like DuckDuckGo and other search engines. Type in that name and see if something comes up. What resonates with you? What can you find? Spend your time. You're not going to miss out if you do an hour worth of research. It's not going to do 100 times. Very unlikely. Just make sure you just check this stuff out.
That's anything else or just that?
I would say that's the number one thing. Number one is yeah.
Give me
the
some
reason I say
points.
it's number one. Sure. But the reason I say it's number one and start on the social media, because social media can lead you to other things. So the prospecting profile. So if you're looking into social media, then you'll find LinkedIn, you'll find team members, you'll find CertiK audits, but that leads you on a journey. I mean, tokenomics is also very important as well. I would say the second thing is probably looking into how the tokens are distributed. Do the developers own 50% of the supply? Kind of stinks if it does. I know there are some out there that do, that haven't been rug pulled yet. Look into, just look into the fact of how was the tokenomics created. The third thing I think as well is this company scalable? I've been really, really fortunate in my life to be mentored by some brilliant serial entrepreneurs that have built many, many businesses. And the one thing that they really put in my head very early on was, can you take your good idea and can you scale it to the world? What is it going to cost you to scale it? So if you want to sell your company for $100 million, what did your company look like back then? And work your way back down to where you are right now. So scaling, can this token scale? Oh, we're going to build all these things and our roadmap says this and all these things, but is what you're building, is it too early? When we built our omni-currency payment gateway, 10 years ago, we were so early. Now I'm building that as a side project with some buddies of mine, spending a couple of hours a month building this. It's really cool. But now is the time to build something like that. 10 years ago, we were way too early. So look at that as well. The fourth thing maybe is look at the market opportunity. If they can scale, how long will it take to scale? When will I get my money back?
Yeah, maybe look up the VRIN score as well.
Yeah. Look up everything you can possibly do.
I'll leave that link down below how to do that, by the way.
Yeah. Do everything. Just keep researching.
Right. Awesome. So one question I have, everybody, by the way, is there anything else you would like to add? I got one more question, but is there anything else you would like to add before I ask that one question?
I would say that just when you're looking at Hokk Finance, you keep an open mind and just think that, as you mentioned earlier, why are these tokens going to survive? We're trying to be as transparent as we can, appoint the best people in the industry to make this transformation. It's very, very ambitious. We have a huge goal. We have a huge challenge ahead of us. This next few years is going to be crazy, but try to see that the future in 5 and 10 years what young people are going to do with their money. And think about that. If they already resonate with these cute, fun meme token brands, are they going to use these in the future? How are they going to use them? And compare us and do a proper competitor analysis between us and other tokens that maybe have celebrity endorsement or pure hype. See where we are going and make that decision for yourself.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so that one question I have for you now is, what's the one question that you wish people asked you, whether it's a personal or business question about Hokk Finance or you? What's that one question you wish people asked you, but they never do?
I wish they asked less about current price and more about future possibilities. So instead of asking me and writing to me or the team, why is the price up? Why is the price down? Ask, where is this going to be in 5 years in terms of using this token and applying it to my everyday life? Ask about the future of our token, more about the current situation. As bear markets come and Bitcoin corrects, these things are all going to happen. So think more in terms of 5-10 years ahead than what's going to happen today.
Right. And do you believe you answered that question throughout this whole presentation, or is there something you want to add to that?
I hope that what I've spoken about with Hokk Finance and all this is covered on the website. If you type in Hokk Finance on YouTube, you'll find a lot of videos. I hope that people can see what I believe in with Hokk Finance, which is really that we are going to be, and we really are pushing ourselves and transform to be #1 in meme utility. So I hope that this has covered most of that for you. But if you want to do your own research, which you should on every project, you should go to hokk.finance and see what we're doing.
Awesome. Mark, thank you so much. I'll leave links down below so people can discover you. I'll leave links up here as well. Thank you so much. This was a great interview. Mark, really had a lot of fun, really learned a lot. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you so much. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.